Andrea Theater is a community theater with a pretty big heart. We like to think of ourselves probably as a bigger theater than we are. We only seat about 371, but we have a new show on stage about every 5 to 6 weeks, involving anyone from 5, 6 years old all the way up to our senior actors that are in their 60s and 70s. So it's a real community theater, but we try to run it like a professional theater.
This is your show, your dialogue, your music, your dances. It belongs to you. Because once we've done our job and we step back, it's all you. We can't do anything.
The organization is Alexandria Area Arts Association, and it began in 1967. About 50 years ago, we're going on our 50th anniversary, the organization produced the first musical. So we're very excited the growth that the organization has had. We're very busy here at the theater, and you can hear the production in the background, the wonderful youth that are going to be doing The Lion King Jr. soon. So they'll be entertaining us as we do our interview here.
Well, cast this size is challenging because you probably have in a musical maybe 8 to 10, maybe 15 lead characters, and then there's a lot of ensemble. But when you have a cast of 58, you have a lot of extra students. But we tell our students, you are not just going to be a stick in the corner, you're going to be something of value, and that is that every single person that's in the cast has great responsibility. They're treated exactly the same as the leads are. They're taught in our STP program, they're taught how to clean toilets, vacuum the floor, market a show, sell tickets. They're taught how to build sets, how to paint them, how costumes are built. During this production, they're learning how professional puppets are built. They've learned a lot about Africa from an African tutor that came to work with the students. So they're getting, for being in rural Minnesota, they're getting a real taste of the culture that has to do with Lion King.
It's always very exciting to bring in new elements to a production, and for the Lion King Jr., that really played out thanks to grant money from the Lake Region Arts Council. Because of the grant, we were able to bring in Matt McGee, who is famous in the puppeteering world. His name was suggested to us actually by an Alexandria person who grew up here, who's now on the National Board of Directors for the puppeteering organization. Matt comes to us from Washington, D.C., where he does professional theater and puppetry work all up and down the eastern seaboard.
Because you see puppets and you think, oh yeah, but I can't make those things. That's not something I can do. You have to be a professional. You have to have expensive materials, and almost everything here is stuff I found at Joann's or other craft stores, and within a reasonable budget. So you just have to have the interest and a little creativity, but that's the fun about it. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, diddly-dee. In the Broadway version, the actor wears them, and his head sticks out here, and their arms are inside to move the mouth. When I was a young warthog. These markings are from when I make the pattern off of the model, I leave markings so I know how these pieces go back together. Fabric is gonna go over the entire thing, which is why you can draw on it. So there'll be fabric, he'll get eyes similar to Zazu's, and then there'll be fringe and fluff and things that make him look like a warthog.
The Alexandria community has a fine tradition of theater in this area, going on 50 plus years, especially with the Andrea Theater, Alexandria Area Arts. But it's growing every year. We get more and more people involved and get bigger and bigger and bigger. This organization, the Andrea Theater and Quad A, has become very big over the last couple years.
I've been involved in theater for over 50 years of my life. I won't tell you how many years over 50, but it's been a long, wonderful journey. And I am humbly grateful to be at toward the end of my professional life to now be executive director for the organization that I have loved for 35 years. It's amazing how people, once they become part of theater, will come back to it. I don't know, I suppose there are a myriad of reasons. For me personally, it is being together with a group of people. You start out, you don't know one another, but here's this group that's going to work on one project, one goal, and they do it together and work together and mesh, and it does become like family. One of my favorite stories as executive director is, it was about 2 summers ago at the youth theater camp that we were having. One of the camp counselors overheard a little boy whose mom was coming to pick him up. And he said, so excitedly, "See, Mom, now I have friends. Now I belong." That is very powerful. And if there's one reason we are doing this, it is to hear the youth say, "I have a home."
Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org. Playing today's new music plus your favorite hits, 96.7 Cram. Online at 967cram.com.